Welcome to the Actually I Can Female Entrepreneur podcast. I am your host, Kayleigh Greenacre, a business strategist, coach, TEDx speaker, author, and your go-to woman for all things business strategy. I am obsessed with supporting female entrepreneurs to grow unstoppable six and multi-six-figure businesses that they love, giving them the freedom and life that they desire. During this podcast, I'll be sharing with you everything that you need to become a successful female entrepreneur, from the mindset shifts to sales and marketing strategies, and how to become an iconic leader that people can't get enough of. It is my mission to help you stand out, attract your dream clients and customers, and sell out of your offers with ease whilst building the business and life of your dreams. Let's make this your reality, ladies. Hello, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Actually I Can, the Female Entrepreneur podcast. And today we are going to be diving into the transparent window of social media and the impact it has on us as female entrepreneurs. Now, I want to start the episode with really talking about how social media has revolutionized from the early days of MySpace, for example, to today's most popular social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. These platforms have become incredible spaces to connect with people, as well as to be a tool for marketing, for networking, and for building a business. Now, as we all know, social media started as a way to connect with friends and family. And over time, it has evolved into so much more for people, especially with businesses, as a powerful platform for entrepreneurs to showcase their brands, connect with customers, and expand their reach. Now, I remember when Facebook was first introduced, I was actually at university at the time, and so many of my friends were on it. And they said, Kayleigh, you need to join Facebook. It's really, really good. It's a great way to connect and to have conversations. And at the time, it was all to do with, posting a status and updating your feed. And at the time I was like, no, I don't need to join that. I've got my phone, I've got my own network, I've got my friends here, etc. I didn't think anything of it. And it took them a while to actually convince me to join. But obviously at the time, Facebook was the newest thing and so many people were joining it. And little did I know back then that today, I would be using Facebook as one of my greatest tools to support me with building my community. And actually, that has supported me in making multiple six figures. So it is incredible how things have changed, how things have developed, and how social media really has revolutionized. So one of the most significant changes, I personally believe, has been the transparency that social media offers. And our professional and personal lives are now more visible than ever before, with every post, every story, every update that we actually choose to share. So I want to dive into both the positive and the negative impact of social media and what that has on us as female entrepreneurs and on our businesses, and how to actually navigate those challenges. Now, I have always been interested in the impact of social media and what it has on people. After studying a degree at university in film, TV, and media, and then going on to teach media in education for over 13 years, I have an extensive knowledge on both media and audience impact. And what fascinates me more than anything on this topic is the perception that people have based on this concept of a transparent window. So in social media, the transparent window, it basically means that you can see right into people's lives and businesses. And it's like peeking through a virtual window where everyone shares their ups, their downs, and everything in between. And this openness encourages real connections and holds everyone accountable for what they say and do online. It lets us all be authentic and stand up for what we believe in, which is great. But it also raises concerns about privacy, misinformation, and the impact of curated content on mental health. So let's look at this impact that social media has, both positively and negatively, on us as female entrepreneurs and how we can navigate this. So I want to start off by looking at the positive side of things, because let's be honest, we are all building incredible businesses and we want to know what the positives are of using social media. The first one I think is really, really important to discuss is the connection and community. Social media allows us to build supportive networks, connect with mentors, and find communities of like-minded individuals who share their struggles and their successes. I think throughout my entire journey, I have used social media as a tool for building a community. And I started back in 2021 with my very first Facebook group. And that was the start of Actually I Can, the business. That was the start of my community, the start of being able to bring, trainings, to bring resources, to bring support, help, advice, guidance to incredible, incredible humans, incredible females that I was wanting to support and wanting to help them and build successful businesses and to support them with their mindset, support them with their systems and processes. So it was such a great place and space that I created on a social media platform. So when we look at it from that aspect, it gives us or allows us that opportunity to connect and communicate, on a daily basis. And you can build your own community to support you with growing your business. The second positive that I think is really important to discuss is awareness and visibility. Platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn provide incredible opportunities for us to increase our visibility, to share our stories, and obviously to promote our businesses to global audiences, especially if you're on multiple platforms. And if we think of it from the sense of, if I just look at my own client base and my own fabulous community, I have people from all over the world I would never have been able to even interact with if it wasn't for social media. So it allows us to get more visible. And especially if you're utilizing different platforms and, really sharing your story and giving value to the audiences within those platforms, you are able to connect and be visible to so many more people. And you can raise the awareness of who you are and what you have to offer on these platforms. So it's so good for awareness and visibility. And one of the other positives in terms of social media, I would say, especially with this concept of the transparent window, is your personal branding and your business growth. So social media offers a direct line to audiences and customers, enabling us as female entrepreneurs to build authentic brands and to grow our businesses effectively. I think gone were the days of, buying spots in newspapers or handing out your business cards, even though you can still do those things. But now you can promote for free every single day on social media to your own audience, to your own community. And that is the power of social media, being able to build, to craft your own brand voice, to build your own personal brand, and to quite simply stand on a rooftop virtually and share with your audience how incredible you are and how fabulous your offers are, how they will support people, how they will help people, how they will change people's lives. And if you are consistent with that, if you are able to share with your audience the real impact that your offer can have on their lives, or that what your particular product can support them or help them with, they are much more likely to see it, to want it, and to buy it. So what an incredible space for all of us to be able to promote for free. And obviously they do have paid ads as well. And absolutely, if that's a route that you want to go down, or if that's a route that you have gone down and it's been really successful for you, then absolutely use that as well. But what an incredible platform to be able to create awareness, to build our visibility, to connect, to build communities, and to build our personal brands on in order to grow our business. So there are so many benefits, so many positive elements to social media, which I absolutely love. And it really does help so many female entrepreneurs around the world. When you look at successful female business owners and even male business owners, but any business owners who have used social media, they have been able to use it for these three things, along with other things, in order to build a successful business and to create impact, to create the success, freedom, and wealth that they desired, which is incredible. So there are always so many positives of social media, and it's such a great opportunity for us. Now, on the other side of things, there's obviously the negative impacts. And while social media, the transparency has its benefits, it also comes with the challenges. So the first one that I want to dive into and talk a little bit about is the influence and the authenticity. So I feel that there's a pressure to follow popular trends, and influencers can lead us to stray from our authentic selves and business values. I think in an attempt to fit or gain traction, we may compromise our uniqueness and actually dilute our brand identity and our brand voice, which is quite sad. And this can erode the trust from our audiences and ultimately harm our long-term success. So I think it's really, really important that we stay authentic and stay close to our own core values of who we are as an individual. Just as an example of this, I remember saying to myself in the very early days of my business back in 2021, at the time, one of the trends were, well, there were two trends. There were the pointing videos, the pointing reels where you pointed and this text would turn up. And then also the dancing around the screen reels. And I remember saying to myself at the time, I remember saying to my mentor, to my coach at the time as well, I am never going to dance around the screen to copy the trends. And I think I did one pointing reel. And to be honest with you, it still makes me cringe today looking back at that time, because it wasn't me. This was it was me following a trend, and I only did it once anyway because I didn't want to follow the trend. I didn't want to do it, but it wasn't me, and it felt so uncomfortable. And today it still feels uncomfortable seeing it on my social media. I'm glad looking back that I didn't follow all of those trends, because it would have diluted my voice. It wouldn't have allowed me to stand up and be seen as an iconic leader. And that's ultimately what we want to do, what we want to achieve. So I think it's so important for us to be able to be authentic with who we are, so our audience can see who we actually are as an individual, and they are able to then know, like, and obviously build the trust with us. So I think that's one of the first things, is to really make sure that we're focusing on, not the influence and the, but really focusing on our authenticity as a female entrepreneur in the online space. Now, the second negative impact area that I want to discuss today is the comparison and mental health. The highlight reel nature of social media promotes this idea of comparison, and we may find ourselves constantly measuring our success against others, which leads to feelings of inadequacy, for example, maybe even imposter syndrome, and potentially even burnout. And I feel that this is just not healthy for us as individuals, as entrepreneurs. The curated perfection portrayed on social media can create unrealistic expectations, and it can actually amplify our self-doubt. It can impact our mental health and also our well-being. I remember when I first started my business back in 2021, and I remember seeing so many successful coaches, business coaches. They were, seven-figure and even eight-figure business coaches swanning around and, having images around flashy cars and in their mansions, going on luxurious holidays. And I thought to myself, is this actually real? Because I know that so much is amplified online, but it still made me see just the highlights and thought, wow, this is an incredible life that you can create for yourself. But at that time, I didn't consider all of the hard work that went into it. I didn't consider all of the challenges that potentially they may be facing as an individual, because you just see the highlights. So you look up to them and then you start comparing yourself to them, thinking, well, why can't I have that? And why is it so hard for me? I'm putting all of this work and effort into my business and I'm not getting flashy cars and seven figures in sales and this, that, and the other. And it just becomes unhealthy. So we really have to move away from looking at the success of others in terms of their highlight reel, and just bearing in mind that everyone has been on their own journey. Everyone has experienced their own challenges and their own setbacks. And we really do have to remind ourselves of that, because otherwise it can affect our mental health and will quite simply push us back, make us question our value in the online space, and also probably even make us question our businesses. And we don't want that. So it's really important to obviously bear that in mind. One of the third things is negative feedback and trolls. Now, the accessibility of social media obviously means that you are exposed to both praise, but also criticism from a wide audience, whether they're in your audience or whether they're not, especially if you've got a public profile on any of the platforms. So while positive feedback can be motivating and really encouraging and actually lovely to receive, negative comments and trolls can actually be really damaging to us. And I think trolling or even harassment or online attacks can take its toll on our confidence and our self-esteem, making it difficult to continue pursuing our dreams and our goals with our business. There are always going to be people out there who disagree with what you are doing or what you're saying. We have or will all experience this at some point, but the best way to deal with this is to ignore them and to continue on your own path, because the last thing you want to do is to allow someone else's opinion affect your success. This is your journey, your path, and it's about staying on your path to success. And then the final thing that I want to talk about today is FOMO. So the fear of missing out. You may well have heard of this term before. Now, social media, as we all know, can create this constant sense of FOMO. Seeing others' successes, glamorous lifestyles, highlight reels, which I mentioned earlier. And this can fuel feelings of envy and dissatisfaction with our own progress. So this fear of falling behind or not measuring up can actually drive you crazy and again affect our mental health and well-being. So I think with FOMO, really think about your journey and how you are navigating through your challenges, and just making sure again that you're really sticking or focusing, should I say, on your own progress and celebrating every single success that you have, because your journey will look so different to everyone else's. So it's a case of not getting too tied up in people's highlights and worrying about other people's successes and glamorous lifestyles, and actually really focusing on your own and thinking, if you want to achieve X, whatever that is, how are you going to get there? And what are the steps individually that you can take in order to get there, and focus on it from that perspective. Now, it's important to recognize and navigate these challenges mindfully. And by having, self-awareness, by setting boundaries and prioritizing your mental health, you can focus on the positives and stay on your own path. So how do we actually navigate this transparent world of social media whilst avoiding these traps of influence and comparison? There's a couple of things that I'm just going to recommend that we all do moving forwards in terms of social media and using social media for our businesses. Number one, set boundaries. And I'm sure you've heard this before. Boundary setting is really, really important, but limit your time on social media and be selective about what you share. Protect your privacy by adjusting your settings and be mindful of your digital footprint. Remember, whatever goes out on social media, people can then see, and there will always be a digital footprint. So always be careful and just really think about your boundaries. The second thing I would suggest is control your feed. So follow accounts that inspire you and uplift you, and then unfollow or mute accounts that cause stress or negative feelings. Really focus on the content that aligns with your values and your business goals. The last thing you want is for other people's content to trigger you. So unfollow them, because it's not worth the bother. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth those triggers. So really make sure that you're focusing on controlling your own feed so that everything that you see and you read is inspiring or uplifting or motivating to you. The next thing is engage authentically. Use social media to connect genuinely with others. Share your authentic story, your challenges, your successes. Authenticity, remember, will build trust, and it allows you to, connect with other people on a completely different level. So I think that's really, really important to engage and really share or use social media as a platform to share your stories, your challenges, and your successes in order to build those connections. And then finally, focus on your journey. I know I've talked about this a number of times in this episode, but remember, your journey is different to everyone else's. Celebrate your own milestones and progress instead of comparing yourself to others. And if you set personal and professional goals that reflect your unique vision, it will allow you to see your progress and it will allow you to measure it. Always come back to your goals on a regular basis and see how far away you are from those goals. What progress have you made? And celebrate each of those steps, because that's so, so important. So just to kind of summarize then, and as we're coming towards the end of the episode, I think as we look to the future, it's clear that social media will continue to play a big part or a big role in our success as female entrepreneurs. And whilst it offers incredible opportunities for connection, for visibility, for growth, it also presents challenges that we must navigate carefully. But strategically, we can use these platforms to support us with growing our businesses and stay true to our core values and our beliefs. So I really, really hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. Think about the transparent window. Think about how you're using social media moving forwards. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. And I will see you again next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Actually I Can Female Entrepreneur Podcast with me, your host, Kayleigh Greenacre. If you are ready to build, grow, and scale your dream six-figure or multi-six-figure business, then head to our website now for more information, or connect with me on socials to see how you can create your dream business and dream life.